It was 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning when the pounding started. Not a polite knock, the kind you give when you're borrowing a cup of sugar, but a hard, official rat-tat-tat that rattled the glass in the front door and yanked me out of a perfectly good dream about fishing on Lake Champlain. I stumbled down the hall in my boxers and an old UVM t-shirt, squinted through the peephole, and felt my stomach drop. 3 men stood on my porch wearing identical bright yellow polo shirts, khaki pants pressed with military creases, and cheap plastic badges clipped to their belts. The one in the middle held a clipboard like it was the 10 Commandments. He knocked again, harder. I opened the door just wide enough to talk. "Morning, gentlemen. Little early for a parade, isn't it?" The leader, a stocky guy with a buzz cut that looked self-inflicted, didn't smile. "Mr. Thompson, we are authorized representatives of the Willow Creek Estates Homeowners Association. We need to see photo identification immediately. You are in violation of multiple covenants, and we are here to confirm residency." I rubbed the sleep from my eyes. "You're going to have to help me out here, fellas. My house is on County Road 17. Willow Creek's gate is a quarter mile that way." I jerked my thumb over my shoulder. "Different planet, different rules." His jaw tightened. "All adjacent properties fall under our review jurisdiction. Show the ID now, or we have the authority to detain you on this porch until the sheriff arrives." "Detain me? On my own porch? In my boxers?" Behind me, Ellen appeared with my phone already to her ear. "911. What's your emergency?" she said loudly enough for the whole cul-de-sac to hear. "Yes, ma'am. I have 3 men in fake uniforms on my property threatening to arrest my husband." The color drained from Buzzcut's face. The skinny one took a quick step backward. The teenager in the back looked like he was calculating how fast he could sprint to the gate. Buzzcut tried one last glare. "This isn't over, Mr. Thompson." Then the yellow shirts beat a hasty retreat down my driveway. Ellen ended the call and handed me a cup of coffee. "That," she said calmly, "was Diane Wheeler's opening shot." I sipped the coffee and stared at the empty spot where their golf cart had been. Diane Wheeler, president of the Willow Creek Estates HOA, had been trying to rope our little half-acre into her kingdom for years. What I didn't know yet was why she had suddenly gone from annoying to insane, and how far she was willing to go to get what she wanted. 5 years earlier, Ellen and I had found our dream escape. A 1972 ranch on a quiet county road in Northern Virginia, the last house before the brand-new Willow Creek Estates rose up like a beige fortress. The realtor had grinned when she handed us the keys. "You get the pretty entrance and rising property values without ever paying a dime in HOA fees. It's grandfathered in. Your own private island. We love the island." We painted the front door a deep Chesapeake blue, let the old post mailbox lean in peace, and never once measured the grass. Diane Wheeler showed up on move-in day in a golf cart, visor sparkling, smile sharp enough to cut glass. She welcomed us, scanned the peeling trim on the windows, and left a thick binder of covenants we never opened. For 4 years it was mostly harmless. Passive-aggressive newsletters, a fine for the mailbox, another for grass 2/10 of an inch too tall. I ignored them. Then one night, I caught a board member on his knees in my front yard with a ruler. That was the moment I bought a $20 pink flamingo named Frank and planted him dead center like a Declaration of Independence. Diane answered with a 6-foot yellow sign hammered into my lawn. "Property under review by Willow Creek Compliance Committee." Cars slowed down to gawk. My buddy Ray came over to help fix the deck, parked his rusty work van on the county road, and came back from the hardware store to find Diane directing a tow truck. Old Mr. Lang across the street filmed the whole thing on his phone while laughing so hard he had to sit down. The tow driver took one look at the county road sign and refused the job. Diane stormed off in defeat, but defeat isn't in her vocabulary. A month later she unveiled the Willow Creek Community Protection Team, bright yellow shirts, badges, body cams, and a used security cart with a flashing light. They parked across from my house for hours, staring. Then one Friday, Buzzcut, real name Curtis, planted himself on my top step so I couldn't leave without pushing him. He wanted me to push him. He wanted it on camera. I didn't give him the satisfaction. I pulled out my phone, started recording, and calmly asked him to step off my property. Curtis backed down only when Diane pulled up in her white Escalade and realized the game had changed. The final escalation came on a Monday morning. I looked out the window and saw Diane on the sidewalk, phone to her ear, voice high and trembling, gesturing wildly at my house like she was auditioning for a horror movie. 2 sheriff's deputies rolled up minutes later. My heart hammered as they walked up the driveway. I met them on the porch, hands visible, phone recording. "Officers, happy to help. What's this about?" The sergeant read from his notepad. "We have a report of a hostile resident making threats." I smiled the tired smile of a man who has been waiting for this exact moment. "Sergeant, my house is not in Willow Creek Estates. It never has been. Here's the deed, the survey, and the county plat map." I handed over the folder Ellen had ready on the hall table. The deputies studied the documents, glanced at the big oak that marked the actual property line, then looked back at Diane, who was now the color of spoiled milk. 10 minutes later, they were lecturing her about filing false reports while Curtis and the skinny kid tried to disappear into the hedges. That night Ellen sat me down. "We're done playing defense, Jack. We find out why she's obsessed with this one little piece of land. We requested every public record the HOA had to provide. Buried in the budget were 2 lines that made our jaws drop. $52,000 to a brand new LLC for security consultation, and another $80,000 vaguely labeled community enhancement. The LLC was registered to Diane's sister's husband. Then Mr. Lang's daughter, who works at the county planning office, called. A developer named Paragon Luxury Homes had quietly approached Willow Creek with a 9-figure buyout to turn the whole place into an ultra-exclusive golf resort. There was only one problem. The grand entrance they designed required my half-acre. Diane had been promised a 7-figure finder's fee if she delivered a clean parcel map, no holdouts. Everything clicked. The fines, the signs, the fake cops, the 911 call. She wasn't trying to make me comply. She was trying to make me sell. We hired the best property rights attorney in Fairfax County. He grinned like a shark when we laid out the evidence. 3 months later, we walked into the county commission hearing with a projector, a stack of exhibits, and half of Willow Creek sitting behind us. The videos played in order. The tow truck fiasco, Curtis blocking my door, Diane's Academy Award 911 performance. We showed the forged invoices, the secret developer contract, the doctored plat map that magically moved the property line 10 feet into my yard. When it was over, the commission chairman looked like he'd swallowed a lemon. Willow Creek HOA was fined 6 figures, lost its insurance, and was placed under state oversight. Diane and her board resigned the same day. The district attorney charged her with misuse of funds and filing a false police report. Paragon walked away from the deal rather than touch the mess. A year later, I'm out back flipping burgers while Ellen reads on the porch swing and our yellow lab, Cooper, tries to catch fireflies. Frank the flamingo is sun-bleached but still standing guard. The big yellow sign is long gone. My mailbox leans exactly the way God intended. Diane sold her 6-bedroom McMansion to cover legal bills and now rents a 2-bedroom apartment 3 miles down County Road 17. Twice a day, every single day, she drives past our little island. Past the blue door she can't control, past Frank, past the mailbox that finally beat her. I wave sometimes. She never waves back. We never wanted a war. We just wanted to be left alone on our half-acre of America. Turns out all it takes to keep it is a pink flamingo, a good woman, a folder full of receipts, and the willingness to stand your ground. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever been bullied by an HOA, a neighbor, or someone who thought their little title gave them the right to push you around? Did you fight back? Did you move? Where do you draw the line between keeping the peace and standing up to injustice? Drop your stories and your opinions in the comments. I read every single one, and I promise your voice matters.